Yes,
Bogdanov, he did it.
he bought.
He went all in.
Don't peek. Oh! Oh!
You heard it here first. Bitcoin is going to zero. When it comes out, zero.
Just HODL Pro.
Today on the TGH podcast, we welcome Ian Friend, co-founder of Ferrum Network, a project that we have been closely related to over the last couple of years at TGH. Ian's also been involved in crypto for quite a while now. We can't wait to hear your story. Welcome, Ian.
Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for having me. It's a real pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you here. Nice to see you again. How are you?
I'm doing well. I mean, look, bear market is tough on everybody, but we're pushing ahead. A lot of positive developments at Ferrum. Everything's going well. You know, got the baby.
How old's the baby now?
He is almost 16 months. Goes quick.
Does go quick. And it's also, it's tough, isn't it? When, like, obviously you're involved in crypto, you've got so much going on. You've got so many commitments, haven't you? And also, it's a massive responsibility suddenly that comes into your life. And it's like, how do you juggle all this? Like, you have to learn fast, don't you? You have to think fast.
I'm still figuring that out, to be perfectly honest with you guys. But look, I have a great team behind me at Ferrum. Of course, my fiance does a wonderful job with our son.
Yeah.
You know, I work from home, so that's a big help as well. But yeah, look, life is hard. It's juggling. It's commitments, responsibilities. It's
100%.
But there's also fun stuff to it as well.
100%. I've seen some of the TikTok videos as well with you and your family. They're quite transparent. We really like them, actually. Normally you're on the beach or somewhere really, exquisite, and we're like, damn you, Ian, screw you.
We did take a trip for a couple weeks. I had not taken much time off in many years since I started Ferrum, so we took a little vacation.
We know.
Of course, we're still working, but we recorded some videos on the beach there. I think with the TikTok, it was all about transparency, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Give people some insights into our real lives.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to hear that folks, you guys liked it.
Everyone liked it. Yeah, the community liked it. But we will move on to Ferrum more to talk about Ferrum and what you've been doing over at Ferrum later on in the episode. But to get a bit of an insight about you, we'd love to get to know some more information about you. What were you doing before crypto? How did you get involved in crypto, hear about crypto? And then how did you find your feet in crypto originally? Could you tell us that little story and give us some insight? I don't even know this yet, so I'm quite excited to hear this.
Sure. So, I mean, look, one of the things I love about this industry, I love a lot of things, is that you can come from any walk of life and you can find an opportunity in this space, which I think is just fantastic.
Amazing.
So for me, I was just a regular guy. I was living in New York. I had just started my career as a lawyer. And this was like 2017, early 2017. A buddy of mine, actually also named Adam, showed me Coinbase. And was like, look, we can buy Bitcoin now super easily. And I always known about Bitcoin, but the barriers of entry for someone who was not technologically savvy was too high back in like 2014 when I first heard about it. So Coinbase finally was opened up to people in New York, and I just bought some. Not really. I aped in. I just aped in. I didn't really know much about it. Then the price started going up. This is like early 2017. That was a great year, obviously. Price started going up. I was like, there must be something to this. So I took a deep dive, bought a bunch of books, did a bunch of research, just like dove headfirst in, fell in love with the technology and the community aspect, started buying altcoins, the whole thing, right? And then I realized, I know a lot about this. Is like, and then like 6 or 8 months went by, right? So I learned a lot about crypto. And realized that as a lawyer, there was a professional opportunity that I could, marry my passion with my career. I wasn't very happy doing the work that I was doing. And so I partnered up with there was a partner at the law firm I was at who was already advising some crypto projects, blockchain companies. And he and I decided to co-found the blockchain practice team at the firm that I was at. And this was in like late 2017, early 2018. And we started doing some work, transactional stuff with some clients. But I was thinking, okay, we got to grow this. We got to grow this practice. So I went out to a bunch of networking events. I was just going to these networking events all the time in New York. And one of the events, I'll never forget. It was a shitty little, it was kind of like a weird artsy space in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, and sat down. And then about 10 minutes later, a guy came in late, and he happened to sit down next to me, started to chat. And he was telling me that he had built this basically solution that allowed you to swap tokens, across various chains, Ethereum for Bitcoin and so on. That was one of the big challenges at the time, still is one of the big challenges in crypto. And he was obviously a brilliant guy. And that was ultimately that's my co-founder, Naeem. And he had just sort of founded Ferrum Network. It was a shitty website, everything, but he was a super brilliant guy. And I was like, wait, this could be interesting. So we kept in touch. And then a couple months later, we got invited to Consensus, which is the biggest conference in the world, in New York, to pitch Ferrum on the main stage. Like, he had applied and he had won this thing to pitch. We're like, holy shit, this could be real.
Yeah.
And so, we did the pitch, went to Consensus. We were complete noobs, knew nothing about the space, knew no one in the industry, like literally knew no one. And just went in there, did the pitch. It was received well. Met a couple guys who ultimately invested in Ferrum, the first like $30,000, which allowed us to quit our day jobs. Yeah. And that was 3 years ago. Here we are today.
Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing how you sort of have to, even though you went out networking at these events and you didn't really know anyone at this stage, you started, and it's amazing how you just bump into these people and the dots sort of come together. When you look back, you can connect the dots, can't you? But you would never have planned or expected for that to happen. It's always strange the way everyone networks and meets. You sort of have to just have that faith that things are going to connect, and it always works out, doesn't it? If you do put the effort in and you do go out of your way to sort of connect with people and move forward, you always do find that success eventually. It's amazing. It's a great story, by the way. How did you meet Dom? How did Dom get involved?
Yeah, so Dom's our CMO. He's been with Ferrum since almost the very beginning. I remember it. So it was like December 2018. It was the team was just basically still Naeem and I. He was doing all the tech stuff. I was doing, trying to do everything else, probably not doing a very good job at it. Realized I didn't know jack shit about marketing. And we had this this idea to do some sort of Twitter marketing with influencers. So I just started reaching out to Twitter influencers. And I reached out to a guy named Dom's Crypto. And that's Dom's, Twitter alias. And he none of the other influencers responded, but he did. and we got to talking, realized, wait, this guy might have some skills and experience that we could actually use on the team. So, like literally within 24 hours, we just made him an offer, come on the Ferrum team. And he just took a leap of faith. All credit to him. Not, Ferrum was, a joke back then. So he just took a leap of faith. And really, that was, December 2018 is when we really started to, gain a little bit more traction and attention. And yeah, it's just crazy how far we've come since then.
I remember seeing you for the first time in Telegram, and you were everywhere. I mean, this was late 2019, so it was a good, a year later from where you're talking to from now, and you were non-stop. And at first I was like, no, there's something wrong here.
I remember how you mentioned the co-founders on Telegram all day.
Yeah, I was like,
back then we were kind of seeing it as not as a red flag, but we were like,
yeah,
He's on Telegram too much, but
it's too
now looking back how the space is, the community and people just want to see the team and the founders on Telegram, speak to them, know what the progress is, all that kind of stuff.
100%. It was
Yeah,
almost...
that's a really funny. I remember when, you know, because look, I'm the kind of person that, you know, if I want something to happen, I'm gonna do my darndest to make it happen. And I felt like that, you know, at the time, just being out there doing AMAs, engaging with the community, that was the most effective use of my time that could help grow Ferrum. And I remember people, certain advisors were like, founders, you know, shouldn't be on Telegram. And I was like, I kind of disagree with that. And now you see that that's actually viewed as a positive. Like if you go in a community and you see a founder talking, you're like, oh, that gives me some peace of mind. It's not just some scammer guy who's going to go away. He's put himself out there. He's building relationships. Like he's a trustworthy person. So I think that actually, it was a bit of a risk to do that, but it turned out to pay off.
It was almost too good to be true, from our opinion. We were like, he'll be gone next week, you know. This guy is just trying to pump his bags or something, and then you didn't go. You were still there every single week, and I was like, does this guy sleep? And then we were like, we need to talk to this guy. We need to talk to this guy because seriously, like this is just he's one of those few people who just doesn't stop. And I know that. I've said so many times. We've said, me and Panda have said, Ian from Ferrum just doesn't stop. It's been one of our sort of talking points to the TGH community is like, invest in the team, invest in people who are obsessed, who don't stop, who live and breathe, and you certainly do live and breathe Ferrum. I think that's a solidified point that you've proven.
Thank you. Look, I got to be honest, and here's another like little insight into Ian. You know, other, you know, outside of Ferrum, I used to not be that way. As a lawyer, I was like kind of like checked out, not that into it. You know, I would not have been accused of being like someone who was just nonstop and obsessed.
Yeah.
But when, I guess this is a lesson to everybody. When you find your passion, when you find someone you really love, it almost doesn't feel like work. Like I enjoy doing Ferrum all day. And now look, my role has evolved a lot. I don't, you know, I'm not in the community quite as much because we have all these various businesses and advisory services and all this different management. The team has grown a lot and all this. So my role has changed a lot, but I still love it. I'm still working nonstop. And yeah, if anyone ever wants to chat, you can find me on Telegram. I'm still there all day, just doing different things.
We'll leave all the links to Ferrum, the website, the Telegram, the Twitter, in the description below. But yeah, we know you're non-stop, and we know there's a lot of stuff progressing with Ferrum. You know, on the front of the Unifier wallet that you guys produced, it's changing lives, isn't it? You have changed lives. I mean, that is in use now in Nigeria and some other countries in Africa. What other countries is it in? Is it still as highly in use?
Yeah, so you know, we started our journey. You know, it's funny because Ferrum has changed and evolved so much over time, which I kind of view as a good thing because this market has changed and evolved. It's like it's not, you know, the speed in which things change in crypto is it'll make your head spin.
Insane.
And as a project, trying to keep up with it it's more. I mean, it's extremely challenging. So you know, we've been fortunate to come. You know, we started with the mindset of basically a bear market. Right. And the bear market mentality was we can't rely on the token doing, you know, 10x, 50x for us to succeed and survive. This was middle of crypto winter when we founded Ferrum. So we decided we need to start with revenue generating products first. And then, you know, once we establish that, you know, we're not going to go broke, we can then expand out the product line and start building more cool technology, experimental technologies. So we started with the product in Nigeria, like you're saying. It was called First Kuti. That's still in existence. And I think it's absolutely changing lives. But I think the thing that's frankly changed more lives was just the fact that we started this advisory service and opened up investment opportunity to the Ferrum community. And a lot of those investments are incredibly well. I mean, and there's
Yeah.
people who in the Ferrum community have like bought houses, bought cars, paid off all their student loans. Incredible stories of
Yeah.
financial success. And that's the thing that, frankly, inspires me to wake up every day and work hard, is to try to make sure that people around me are doing well. And, despite the bear market now, I'm proud to say that I think we have changed a lot of lives.
You really have, and we wrote
Definitely.
we wrote an article, didn't we? With your help at TGH, where we went through what Ferrum had done, how it had changed so many people's lives, and the kind of things that people have done with that with that money they've made, and some of the inspirational stories, and it all goes back to what you were saying before about taking a leap of faith, and sometimes you really have to, don't you? When something is already too good to be true, it's sort of too late, isn't it? When like it's safe, and you really do have to take that leap of faith and that risk essentially. But Ferrum's still a good buy, isn't it? It's still a good investment. I mean, the price it's back down now to those 2020 lows. So you've got a lot of incentivizing programs now, haven't you? Iron Mountain and a couple of other things where investors can stake, and you've got the Launchpad FAS Ferrum Advisory Services Launchpad, and that's another way for investors to. It's not only Ferrum that you're investing in Ferrum to also get a share in other upcoming projects, and you guys are supporting those projects, aren't you? And you've got anti-bot technology. Were you guys the first to implement that anti-bot technology? Because I can't think of any other projects or launchpads that were using that.
Yeah, we were definitely one of the first, and our system is, I view it as like the gold standard. Like if you really want to crush the bots, so to speak, and actually help your community members, our solution is, I think, the best. There's now a lot of different anti-bot solutions out there, but I mean, to your earlier point, now Ferrum has many utilities, right? You talked about holding it to get access to the early stage investments, which, even though the bear market is here temporarily, I hope, we're still moving forward with incubations. We've just changed the way that we do them. The token metrics now, like we're about to announce a new incubated project. You'll see it in probably next week or so. The token metrics are much improved, way lower hard caps, way lower initial market caps, faster unlocks. Investors don't want to wait around.
Yeah.
The other thing too is investors don't want to wait for token utility. They don't want the token to launch and then 2 months later, finally the product launches, but it's not a very good product because whatever. Now we're telling teams, look, you need a product either out or basically out within a week of the TGE. That's like a prerequisite.
Yeah,
you need
yeah.
utility.
If not before,
because otherwise it's too much risk on the investors. And I'm also an investor in these projects. I don't want to lose money in these. A couple of ones, unfortunately, recently haven't done well. And so we needed to evolve and change. We're not giving up. So that's coming out. Next one's gonna be announced soon. We have plenty of utilities now. Ferrum is down to lows of 2020, I suppose, like you said. It's I view this as a time of maximum opportunity. If you find a project that you believe in and you think can go the distance, but you got to have it takes some balls to invest in this market for sure. But no risk, no reward kind of thing. And with all the things we have currently and all the things we have upcoming, and where we are today versus where we were a year ago, I'm so much more bullish on Ferrum now than I was a year ago. It's just the market is down for everybody, so that's why I see the token price. But look, a lot coming up, a lot to be excited about, and we're pushing ahead.
You were saying, weren't you, Panda, about going back to your point there, Ian? When you buy a project, and especially in a bearish market, it's so important to actually believe in what you're buying, because you have to, don't you? If you don't believe in it, if you haven't got any confidence in what you're buying, it's so much harder to hold, isn't it? Especially during a bear market.
Yeah, for me, it's not only the holding, but also if let's say you buy something and it goes down a bit, you're like, fuck, I knew I shouldn't buy this shit. Then you're sitting there, and the moment it's break even, you're just selling and leaving the project. So for me, especially in times like this, you want to have something you really believe in, and like Ian said, has revenue generating businesses and can survive a bear market, stuff like this. Otherwise, you don't want to invest.
So many projects haven't got revenue generating aspects to them, and they are literally depending on the investors, depending on the price, and it's like
and they also they somewhat have to dump their own tokens at some point.
Yeah.
If they blew all their funding, then the only way is either selling tokens or completely shutting down business.
I think it's a good point to investors to look, especially during a bear market. If technically we are in a bear market, you know, it's debatable, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. I'm seeing two sides of. What's your thoughts on the market at the moment, Ian? What are you expecting? How are you feeling? Are you thinking we're seeing something similar to the 2020 COVID crash, or do you think it's looking more like 2017?
I go back and forth on this myself. I don't think that $64,000 Bitcoin was the peak of this, halvening cycle, right? Bitcoin goes in these cycles based on the halvening usually, right? And it didn't feel like that was peak, like euphoria time. It really didn't. I didn't get the sense that like everyone and their mother was talking about investing in Bitcoin. I remember in 2017 when it hit 20,000, it was like everyone was talking about it. Cab drivers, my barber, my boss at the law firm, everyone was talking about Bitcoin then. At 64,000, still almost no one was talking about it other than like people that are deep in the space and like Michael Saylor and Elon Musk, I guess. So it didn't feel like that was the peak of this this cycle. I think we're now kind of in this. I remember there was one point in the 2017 cycle where it had pumped, and then it dumped, I think on some China FUD, to be honest, which again kind of was the case here. And then it kind of chilled. It dumped and then it chilled and just went sideways for a while until it had another leg up. And then that was like the full on like euphoric, crazy ride up. So I hope that's where we're at. I don't think when I say bear market, I don't mean like we're in a multi-year like crypto winter. I think we're just in a bearish part of this bull cycle.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to bounce back in maybe, late summer, early fall. And, look, it's going to go sideways for a while, and that's okay. There's other opportunities. The market's, evolved a lot. There's farming now. There's other ways to make money in crypto, staking, whatever. So I think we're going to be fine as an industry. We just got to wait for Bitcoin to do its thing because everyone's just dependent on that.
Yeah, I was saying on Twitter yesterday that there's a massive difference between people sort of think that patience is a trait. It's something you're born with, or it's something you are, but it's not really.
Definitely not.
Yes, definitely not. But I find that it's more a case of smarter people, more intelligent people are able to use their head to do other things, occupy themselves, think outside the box whilst they wait, whereas the dumber or less smart people, less intelligent people, just sort of sit around twiddling the thumbs, and they're like, come on, hurry up, I'm bored, when's it gonna happen? And that's just like sort of a cycle you get into, and before you know it, that you make yourself more impatient. And we're seeing that now with a lot of people. They're like, when's it gonna do something? Oh my god! And you're seeing the smarter people just going, okay, I'm gonna chill for a couple of weeks, go on a holiday, maybe do some research, learn some new skills. There's so many things you can do right now. The market, the market was up only, wasn't it, for 14 months? It's like so many people are.
There was also like no rest at all. It was you had to be 18 hours a day because you didn't want to miss anything. You had to wake up in the night, check your phone. Oh, how is this looking? How is this looking? Taking profits here, shifting over to this, and there was just no solid sleep, nothing. I was
was-
completely fucked.
I was.
And
I was
now you can take it easy. You can play some video games. You can watch some movies. I couldn't watch a single movie because during the movie I had to take like 3 breaks. Okay, how's this looking? How's that looking? Telegram was completely spammed with messages, and now it's just chilled. So
yeah,
it's summer and just enjoy the time.
love it. I love the fact that this industry generally, if you look back every single year, it is quiet during the summer, and I think there's more to it than I really think that the people manipulating the market purposely want it quieter in the summer. And if you were doing it right, if you were spending 17, 18 hours a day, like all the people who were making the major money were doing, then you'd be happy now for the market to be chilled. You wouldn't be on the edge of your seat going, when's it going to bounce? When's it going to bounce? So we are enjoying this lull period, aren't we, Panda? We are
Definitely.
enjoying it. But I think it's also a lesson for people who didn't make the most of the last. There's a lot of people, weren't they, were sort of waiting for the bull moaning, saying when's this gonna end? Only halfway through, or only as it started, they were like, I can't wait for things to turn bearish again. And now things are bearish. They're on the edge of their seat. I'm just like, you're doing it wrong. Make the most of the market. Put all the time in that you can when the market's pumping. Trade as much as you can. Invest. Move your funds around. Get your money working. And then when it's quiet, make the most of it being quiet. Go on a holiday, chill out, learn new skills. There's so many things you can do right now, and you know who all the good, experienced investors and traders are, because they're the ones who are now like, yeah, cool, chilling. They got their feet up, waiting. They're not on the edge of their seat. Absolutely crazy. So
yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree with you guys more. From the founder's standpoint, it's kind of the same mentality, because you need to obviously make hay when the sun is shining. We were extremely active in that bull market. We launched, over 10 projects through Ferrum Advisory Services. We signed up like 100 staking clients. We made a lot of money, which is great, because now we're positioned to survive a long-term bear market if it does happen. But now we're able to refocus on sort of those long-term goals, the long-term visions we have. I mean, Ferrum from day one was and is a technology first project, and we want to and are solving one of the biggest problems in the crypto space, which is the interoperability problem, or the lack of interoperability. So you have these siloed chains, you can't move assets between the chains. And we're refocused on solving that problem. So we just launched one of I think we're going to be considered one of the flagship Ferrum products, which is our cross-chain token bridge, which allows you to swap between Matic, Ethereum, BSC, the fastest bridge on the market. You can swap at the speed of the blockchains.
wow.
And it's frankly, I think the most user-friendly bridge, and it provides utility for Ferrum token. Every swap, there's a little bit of fee paid in Ferrum, and that Ferrum gets burned.
Wow.
So like we're refocused on the product side, on the technology, just basically preparing ourselves for this next run up. But yeah, I think to your point, from this investor standpoint, take some time off, step away from the computer. No need to obsess over your portfolio every day. And that was one of the points I was trying to make in my TikTok videos, like on the beach, like, hey guys, there's more to life than crypto right now. I remember I took that first video.
Yeah.
It was right after that massive crash in May, where shit just tanked in May. I remember that. I don't know what we're calling that, May Day or something. And I was on the beach. I was like, look, guys, there's more to life than crypto. Obviously, we're still working hard and stuff, but spend time with your family, to take up a hobby, do something else. Don't just obsess with the portfolio.
100%.
The market will return. That's what all the OG people understand, is that the market will return. You just got to wait and be patient.
100%. Well said. So I think we've got.
We've been one thing I wanted to cover. So we've been talking about Nigeria and First Kudi, so that you have some experience in Africa, and I wanted to know if you see something similar like we see in South America right now with I'm not sure how to how to say it politically correct, countries that are, is it third world? Like
We say emerging markets now.
emerging countries,
Yeah.
like in South America. If you see something similar in Africa happening, so that they could adapt some sort of cryptocurrency, maybe Bitcoin, maybe something else.
Yeah, I mean, I have like a long-term thesis on the emerging markets and how they sort of relate to the wider crypto space. I actually view emerging markets as the primary opportunity for Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies to actually be adopted as a currency.
Mm.
It's kind of hard to imagine, like in the States or in Europe, where like the currencies are stable and like we all have credit cards that give us points and stuff, and the system works pretty well, even though there's a lot of fees and stuff. For the entire society to abandon a system that works pretty well in exchange for this like experimental like new technology that's pretty complicated, which is crypto. But in emerging markets, like their currencies regularly just like inflate crazy, like thousands of percent, and like completely crash the economy, and like people, costs like a bajillion units of currency to buy a loaf of bread and stuff. In that case, and they all have smartphones, they're all pretty technologically savvy. So in those places, I think long term you're going to start to see more and more adoption of crypto for sure. In Africa, look, and probably in South America, it's always slower. The adoption of technology is always slower than you want it to be, and then it does this like crazy, hockey stick curve up. So it's like early adopters, and it finally gets that critical point where it just zooms off. We're not there yet, and obviously there's a lot of entrenched interests that are pushing back against it.
Yeah.
But I think, look, 10 years from now, you're going to see a lot of emerging markets that are using crypto for actual currency like transactions, which is going to be huge for the industry.
Looking forward to
Good
that.
point.
Looking forward to it. There's so much to come for crypto, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. There's so much behind it. I mean, Ethereum, every single year we're seeing new use cases coming out. We saw NFTs last year becoming a massive hype. DeFi the year before. It's like I'm constantly thinking, what next? What's coming next? Because it's just getting more and more exciting. They're talking about now. You're seeing a lot of games and what they call it, MMORPG, sandbox, NFT games incorporated.
Like metaverses.
Metaverse is the word. Sorry, yeah. Thank you for that. And they're not quite there yet, are they? They're slowly picking up traction. There's a few that we've got our eye on at the moment, isn't the Panda? Such as Wilder World. There was it Sandbox?
Sandbox is quite good. I've played Sandbox myself, but I'm not sure if it's like really mass market ready. But I would say it's so far the best one. There is in crypto, yeah, but it's often like overpromise and under-deliver for now.
Yeah, I mean that I totally agree that that's going to be the next big hype sort of cycle, are gaming projects and metaverses.
I'm sure,
because that's really where I think blockchain technology can shine, and there's a really clear intersection from the user standpoint. Between those who are in the games, like 18 to 25-year-old guys, and then the people who are in crypto, same demographic mostly.
Exactly.
So the technology, it all comes together, and we're actually incubating, I think, 2 or 3 gaming projects. I know, Matic is looking at these projects very closely. We just announced a partnership with Matic, where they're now giving grants to the projects that we incubate, particularly in the gaming space. So I think you're going to see that's the next big wave of hype. It's like NFTs were like a little bit last year. I think they're going to come back to some extent, but I think the next big one is gaming. But to your guys' point, like a lot of these aren't quite ready for prime time. I think that's okay. Like if you think about it from the investor standpoint, we've all been given the opportunity to be like early stage venture capitalists.
Exactly.
Like we can invest in these early stage promising 100%. Tech companies. 9 out of 10 will fail. We understand that 9 out of 10 crypto projects will probably fail within 2 or 3 years, and that's okay. because there's going to be 1 out of 10 that does 100x, 200x, right? And you just make massive gains on those. So
Yeah.
I think it's an awesome opportunity for investors.
Yeah.
It's a great time for the space, but I don't think we're quite there yet for the prime time, like you're saying.
We said that exactly the same thing, because we are starting to invest in all these metaverse projects, and it is a case of waiting and being patient. You want to get in early, but there's also that risk inherently attached with that. But you've got Grand Theft Auto. Is it Grand Theft Auto 6? They're incorporating crypto into the game. Is it Grand Theft Auto 6?
It is, but I'm not sure in which capacity it's going to be part of the game. If it's actually cryptocurrency that is attached to it, or
right.
if you're
some
like
sort of in-game,
online. Yeah,
some sort of in-game fake currency.
Yeah, exactly.
But either way, it's been talked about and linked
of course.
with crypto, and all this is contributing towards the movement towards. I'm surprised it's not already happened, if I'm honest with you. Gamers generally didn't seem that interested a couple of years ago, but I think as the FOMO builds, and as you said, Ian, there is the community in crypto. Basically, a lot of gamers who come into crypto, they're just naturals. They're naturals. It's just second nature, isn't it? We're used to sitting on. Me and Panda both gamers. Loads of our community are gamers. Everyone's used to sitting behind a computer for 16, 17 hours a day. It's like it's part of the trade, isn't it? So
yeah, I think you're going to see that emerge as the next big hype, but it's not going to be just hype, because I think you're going to see genuine adoption and sort of real use case for crypto within games and games that are built around crypto and so on. So I'm really excited to see that trend take off. But like you're saying, it's all about like patience, because if you just think about what's happening in the background, teams are building, teams are innovating, and it takes developers. It takes developers a long time to build stuff.
Yeah.
And so people just need to understand that and like realize, look, a year in crypto might feel like an eternity, but if you're used to real investing or investing in real world like equity stocks or what have you,
nothing,
a year is like no time. You'll wait 5 years to do 2x in the real world. A buddy of mine in real estate, like he's an incredible real estate developer, brought me this opportunity, was like, it had all this thing laid out where it's like, okay, we're going to make, 100% in 4 years. It was like, that was like amazing for them. That was amazing for them.
You want it a day in crypto?
We in crypto can't wait, 2 months to do 5x, and if it does, we complain. Like, what's wrong with us? What's wrong? Have a little perspective. Have some patience. Like,
one of the issue with crypto people, in my opinion, is they are mostly unemployed. And
they need the money now.
Yeah.
Also, they sit at home and they're basically just refresh the page,
Not
and
healthy.
they're just looking. Still same token price.
That's a good point, actually, Panda. A very good point.
If you're working and if you have a family and stuff like this, you don't have the time to just refresh the page all day and see if the price changed.
That's a very good point. And if you are working as well, you aren't depending on the money. If you're depending on the money in crypto, you're putting a lot more stress and pressure on yourself, and 9 times out of 10 you're gonna lose because you're putting the odds against you, aren't you? If you are depending on the money from crypto to survive, then the pressure you're putting on yourself is just, there's only enough pressure in this space as it is. So I think there's too many.
It's not healthy. That's too risky, I think. From Ferrum's standpoint, what we like to do is provide our community members other ways to make money, even if the market's not, up. So obviously staking is an obvious example of that, but we have a referral system, probably the most generous referral system in all of crypto, where if you refer us a staking client, anti-bot client, or a token bridge client, you can earn up to $2,500, which for a lot of people, that's like a month's worth of work. Yeah. And all you got to do is just find a project who like wants it. You connect them to me. I'll close the deal and send you the money. Like,
that's right. Yeah. So that referral deal is applying to anyone can go out and find a project who needs your staking services. What other services? Sorry. or it was the anti-bot as well, and all
Yeah, so
other
the
stuff.
anti-bot, and there's the token bridge, which is something we're really focused on now. We've already closed a couple clients on that product, haven't announced them yet. But the token bridge is a really incredible product because let's just think about the use case of it. So basically, projects and communities are really looking to integrate with other chains. You don't just want to be on Ethereum anymore.
Yeah.
Because then you're relying on Uniswap. The gas fees are high. It's you don't want to just have them on Uniswap. So now there's Matic, which is super popular, and obviously Binance Smart Chain, super popular. Right now, there is no bridge that allows you three-way swaps between those chains, except the Ferrum bridge. So that's one thing. The other bridges that are out there are very slow for the most part. Hours to do a swap, even days. We've seen one bridge took 7 days to do a swap. Like, it's nuts.
How long? Sorry to interrupt. How long would be the bridge from Ethereum to Matic with Ferrum?
So our bridge, Ethereum Matic, basically takes as long as it takes to do an Ethereum transaction and a Matic transaction.
Wow.
A Matic transaction.
Unbelievable.
Usually the whole process takes about 2 minutes.
I think it's amazing because it's not the first time that you guys.
Recently, I'm bridging a lot from Matic to ETH and back and forth, and sometimes it takes 5-6 hours.
Yeah, doesn't it? And you have to.
I say that doesn't work because look, you might identify an arbitrage opportunity. You might see that the price of Ferrum is higher or lower over on QuickSwap or whatever it is on Uniswap. So make trades, boom, bridge it over. The cool thing about our bridge though too is that the fees. So by the way, every product that Ferrum builds, we build it for ourselves first to sort of demonstrate that it has value in a real use case. And if it does, we then white label it and we can sell it to other teams. That's kind of like what we did with staking and what we do with all our products. So that's what we do with the token bridge. We just launched it for Ferrum, I think last week. It worked great. People are using it. The cool thing is that the fees are paid in the native tokens. So like when you do a swap of Ferrum from Ethereum to Matic or vice versa, you pay a 2% fee. We're taking 100% of those fees and burning them.
Burning them,
So insane. But by the way, same thing for other projects. So other projects who use this bridge, they can, first of all, they can white label it, put it on their website. Their community doesn't have to trust some random third-party bridge on some, go to some random project bridge. They just go right on the website. It uses the native token as gas, so it provides utility and it provides revenue for their project because now they have money coming in the form of native tokens for all these swaps.
And the deflationary as well, and they become deflationary as well.
Well, yeah. So the team can opt to burn those tokens, or they could say we're going to use those tokens as liquidity mining rewards or staking rewards.
That's really good. Yeah.
That's really good. I'm really impressed.
Additional incentives.
Really impressed, Ian.
Yeah.
Really impressed.
Yeah, you're going to see this bridge take. I mean, we just launched it for Ferrum. We signed up, I think, 3 clients who have signed the contract, paid. They're going to be announcing soon. We're demoing it twice a day to teams. There's a lot of demand for it. It's just sort of still early days, audit is in the works. We just launched it, right? So there's things you got to perfect as you go. But I think this bridge is going to probably end up being one of the most popular on the market, just like our staking became the most popular staking. I think the bridge.
It's not the first time that you guys have been the first to do the Unifier wallet was revolutionary. Your staking, offering staking.
Everyone was using
everyone was getting involved in that. And then, as far as I was concerned, you were the first guys to bring in the anti-bot. That was revolutionary. And now you've got this bridge. It's like I just can't commend you enough on what you've done. And so final note today, Ian. What's your prediction on Bitcoin end of the year? What price area are you looking? We're asking this.
Your favorite question.
Yeah. No, it's a great. This is a fun question. I mean, I would be thrilled to see it back at 65,000.
Yeah.
Anything beyond that is a bonus. Anything below that, I'd be a little bit disappointed because I really do think that we're in this lull period right now. Yeah. I think it can get back there once the Bears need to exhaust themselves. We need a bullish catalyst. We need some real world purse. Apple all of a sudden is accepting Bitcoin or something like that, right? Catalyst. and then boom, it's off to the races again. I think, look, the whales, people don't realize it, but the whales are in large, they're more or less in control of this market.
They are.
I don't think that they're done. I don't think the whales are like, yeah, the bull market's over and we're done making money. I think they're accumulating now.
Yeah, 100%. They won't tell you. They won't tell you though.
They're just gonna pump it when they want to pump it, which is gonna be hopefully in the fall.
The Apple co-founder, I forget, Steve Wozniak, is it? He's already said that he's bullish on Bitcoin. He thinks it's
but that was, I think, a couple of years back.
Yeah, it was a couple of years back, but he spoke about it as well since again. But he's not invested. That's the only thing. He's not invested. But why would you if you're already a billionaire?
You don't need to take much risk.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, we need a couple of catalysts like that. We need the bears to exhaust themselves. But if you think about like where we are, usually it's like a 2-year cycle, bull versus bear.
Yeah.
Just based on what happens with the halvening every 4 years. So like that's kind of, in the stock to flow thing is sort of, we kind of deviated from that a little bit, but I think it's going to get back on track. I'm a perma bull on Bitcoin and crypto just because of supply and demand and where we are in its stage of global awareness, which is still early days. There's 21 million ever Bitcoin. Look, if just a small fraction of people decide to buy it, it's mooning again.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about Bitcoin or crypto long term. We just got to get through these next few months, and I think we'll be back on track.
Thank you very much, Ian. It's been a pleasure to have you on today.
My pleasure, guys. Great meeting with you. I'm bummed it's over. I want to keep hanging out with you guys.
Well, you can come on again. We'll have you on again in the future. You keep on building at Ferrum, and I'm sure we'll get you on again and talk about what you've been doing over. If we leave it 6 months, we'll find out what you've been doing and what else you've revolutionized, how else you've changed the space.
Let's hope so. I appreciate your guys' time, and let's stay in touch. And I appreciate everything you do. So thanks for everything.
Take care,
Bye-bye.
Ian. Thanks, guys.